Hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new updated grounded speedrun tutorial. This is going to be the fourth one that I've made. Hopefully it's the last, but you know, after I make my tutorials, there's always brand new stuff that's being found, and compared to the last tutorial, there's a lot of new stuff, so we gotta go through the game again. Now, before we actually get into the game, there's some things I have to talk about beforehand. Those things are... oh god, what are they? You know, what separates grounded from the other difficulties and what the fastest version is to run. What I'll talk about first is the fastest version. So when running remastered, you don't want to run this on PS3. You want to run remastered. There's 4 different ways to run it. You can run it on PlayStation 4 unpatched, PlayStation 4 latest patched, PlayStation 5 unpatched, and PlayStation 5 latest patch. Those are the 4 different versions to run. For all the easy mode categories, PlayStation 4 latest patch is the fastest, but for grounded, the fastest version is PlayStation 5 unpatched. That is the fastest version. There are a lot of different reasons why. It's a combination of the two things. Unpatched because it deals with better... it gives you better AI. After a certain patch, I think it was 1.07, it messed up the AI. So, and not for the better. So, unpatched gives you more convenient AI patterns for grounded specifically. And PlayStation 5 because of 2 different spots in winter. When you start the coal mine fight and when you start the David fight. Now, I'll talk about those instances when we get there. But, if you have, like... I've made a bunch of videos that talk about... this one. That talk about, like, the reasons for why you should run a certain category on a certain version. Patch differences, how to unpatch. Difference between PS4, what version's the fastest, and then other things. A David fight that you can only do on PS4. You know. Just trust me when I say PlayStation 5 unpatched is the fastest version to run grounded. Now, this is something I get asked a lot. People notice it, but they don't know why it happens. When you're running PlayStation 5 unpatched, the water glitches out. I need to make this point here at the beginning of this video because people still don't get it no matter how many times I explain it to them. PlayStation 5 latest patch, PlayStation 4 unpatched, and PlayStation 4 latest patch all have perfectly looking lights and water. Only on PlayStation 5 unpatched is the water and the lighting completely bugged. As you can see. If you've seen enough of my speedruns, you've seen something like this before. Joel's flashlight doesn't even work. Yes. That is... I wouldn't call it a bug. It's being played on a console it's not originally intended for. And in its unpatched state. But because of 2 different things in winter, just gotta trust me. We'll talk about it more when we get there, but PlayStation 5 unpatched is the fastest version. You have to put up with visual bugs though. For the sake of this tutorial, I need to make this clear, for the sake of this tutorial, I am running this on PlayStation 4. I want you guys to be able to see everything that's happening, okay? As you can see, version 1.00 unpatched. And of course, you need a physical disc to be able to run it unpatched. I highly recommend, I really, really highly recommend running grounded unpatched. The AI differences is so much harder to deal with on grounded. It really is. So let me repeat myself. I'm only doing this tutorial on PlayStation 4 just so... you know, you're not dealing with all the visual bugs and everything. I want everything to look clean. But just know, PlayStation 5 unpatched is the fastest version to run. And when we get to winter, I'll show you specifically why. Everything else should be the same. Okay, now we're going to talk about, like, supplies. Here, that's my grounded file. I'm going to talk about supplies. This is the best place to go to show this off. When we start Graveyard. We'll start it on grounded just to show you. So a big difference with grounded is crafting ingredients are a lot harder to come by. On easy mode, there could be like whole ingredients, like a table full of whole ingredients. On grounded, you might get a quarter of one of those things, maybe. I should also mention the parts and the supplements that upgrade Joel's weapons and upgrades Joel himself. Those remain constant throughout any difficulty. They're exactly the same. So you do a run on easy versus a run on grounded. The parts and the supplements are going to be in the same spot, and they're worth the same amount, no matter what. It's a constant. Crafting ingredients, though, are different. And again, the best place I can show that off is right over here.
What you got?
So take a look. This is grounded. Like I showed in the beginning, this is grounded. There's nothing to pick up here. There's just a quarter of a rag, which we do need, but we'll get to that later. There's nothing here. There is nothing here.
This thing blows, it shreds
Yeah.
anybody standing nearby.
Nothing.
Yeah, I've seen your handiwork.
Let's swap it to easy.
Pretty good, huh?
Look at all this stuff. Look at all this stuff. So this is easy mode, crafting ingredients to pick up for easy. And they get a little less as you increase in difficulty, but you saw on grounded, only that's there. All this is just easy mode stuff. So as you can see, grounded, you're very limited with crafting ingredients. That's the big thing. Throughout this run, we pick up just enough. Literally, when we get to the bus depot, our inventory is completely empty. So yeah. Alright, next thing I want to show off is the damage given by different guns. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna load up my grounded file again. I'll go to financial, because that's where we can get enemies right away. I'll load up easy mode to show how it normally looks. Now, the damage given from your guns on easy, normal, hard, and survivor is the same. Off the top of my head, a pistol hitting a human is 3 shots. A revolver and rifle are 2 hits. A shotgun at close range is going to kill them anyways. An arrow is 2 hits if you're in the alert phase. If you're in stealth mode, it's a 1-hit kill. Those are the big ones, though. Rifle, pistol, and revolver. Rifle and revolver are 2 to kill. Pistol is 3 to kill. Body shots, I mean. And if this loading screen wouldn't take so long, I could show you that right away. I'm not editing this stuff out. This is all like raw footage from the beginning. I'm not a big editor in my videos. Can we please hurry this up? This is what you get in unpatched, longer loading screens. Just gotta trust me for grounded, it's faster. Okay, any day now, Naughty Dog. Come on. You just get access to a bunch of enemies right away. That's all. Come on. I'm gonna get a 2nd level of spores here by the time we're ready. Alright, thank you. Okay, so just going through basics. This is easy mode. 1, 2. And if we use the rifle, just gotta trust me, it would take 2 hits to kill them. Now, let's go pistol. Okay. I don't have 3 here, but I'll just show you. 1, 2. He's still alive. A 3rd bullet would kill him. That was Ellie. A 3rd bullet would kill him. And the last one is a rifle. No, is a arrow. So if you're stealthy, it's a 1-hit kill. Now, if you're in the alert phase... Alright, Ellie shot him. Hold on, maybe I can get this guy. See, it did not kill him. 1 hit. Did not kill him. Now let's go to grounded. You'll be able to see all the differences. Revolver is a kill. The rifle is a one-hit kill. Let me see if I can hit a guy here. I need an enemy. No, Ellie shot some of them. Okay.
Yeah, I should have known, but if you're gonna steal,
Let me just show you again.
right?
Is this guy? Now let's use an arrow.
Oh shit!
I need an enemy that hasn't been shot. Here we go. No, this guy's been... I need an enemy, please. Ellie's not cooperating. She's shooting people. Which normally is good, but not in this case. Here we go. One-hit kill. That's literally what I was trying to show off. Now again, normally stealthy,
If you're gonna steal,
an arrow is a one-hit kill anyway.
right? I would have.
But the point is, if you get alerted...
Get him!
I broke the combat. It's a one-hit kill anyway. Now let me show the pistol.
Yeah, I should have known, but if you're gonna steal, you better make sure you get away with it, right? I would have done.
1, 2. So basically what I'm trying to show off, I know I explained it and then showed it off very slowly, but rifle, revolver, pistol, and arrows do more damage by about 1 bullet or arrow each. Yeah. Considering it's the hardest difficulty, I'm not really sure why they did that. I guess to compensate for just how much harder it really is compared to even Survivor mode. And it should go without saying, I'll explain some of this later, but you don't get ammo drop nearly as often as other difficulties. And when they do drop ammo, it's not as much. Easy mode, you could get a drop of 5 or 6. On Grounded, you never get a drop above 1 or 3 if we're talking about pistol. So yeah, I think we're ready to get going. Sorry, that was kind of slow. But, alright, here we go. I'm going to turn the webcam off for the rest of this stuff. It's a new game, we don't have to do this. New game, Grounded. And, let's see, I am going to save this under a file. And the reason for that is I'm going to, like, redo some areas. For majority of this, I'm going to do an area perfectly, and then go back and show it, like, step by step. And there's a thing in this game, you can't turn off autosave. So when you load a file, it's always saving the checkpoint over and over and over. So if you want to, like, load up an area and practice it, you need to load it up and then save it under a different file. And then when you want to reload the area again, you need to load in the other file and then save it under the other file. It's very dumb. Part 2 doesn't do that. They did better with that. But yeah, for this game, no. It's long and tedious. So we're going to be doing 2 files. And loading and saving as we go. Okay. And the timer would normally start as soon as you, Oh. Hello, I'm back. That's funny, if I hit spacebar, it turned my webcam back on. That was funny.
Hello?
Sarah, honey, I need to get your daddy on the phone.
Alright, there's nothing really going on here.
I need to talk to your dad now. There's something.
Uncle Tommy? Hello?
I'll start talking about the run a little bit more as when we get to the car riding.
What was that all about?
We want to press these triangle prompts like as you're
Dad?
like right in front of them.
Daddy?
Sometimes right there you can get a little glide down the stairs. I don't know why that happens. I think it coincides with the timing of the explosion. Yeah, always try and be moving Sarah forward and then turn the camera as you need to. Alright, we're moving now.
There you are.
Anyway,
Are
what else about this run? We talked about versions, we talked about
anyone come in
damage
here?
given.
No, who would
We
come
talked
here?
about
Don't go near the
supplies, parts, and
Stand back
supplements.
there.
Dad, you're kind of freaking me
Okay.
out.
Here's one
What's
thing.
going on?
Damage dropped, or ammo dropped by enemies. Enemies will only drop ammo on grounded if you're under a certain amount for the gun that you have. Also, throughout the game, certain enemies in certain areas. Oh wait,
Jimmy,
this is
I
over.
am warning you. Don't.
Okay, certain enemies in certain areas will only drop ammo for specific guns. Looking ahead, financial, I recall they only drop rifle and pistol ammo. In the sewers, they only drop revolver and pistol, and the shorty if you picked it up, but we don't pick it up until the end. In university, they only drop shotgun and revolver. It's kind of
You got blood all over you.
Hey, man, let's just get out of here.
kind of weird how that works. And that's really just discovered through doing as many runs as I've done in my life.
You gonna tell me what happened?
What else? Oh, yeah.
Hey, Sarah.
Those enemies will only drop ammo on grounded if you're under a certain amount. So, for the rifle,
Thanks.
to my knowledge, they'll never drop ammo if you're at 1. This is playing as Joel. It's a little different when you're playing as Ellie, but when you're playing as Joel,
Newsman wouldn't shut up.
He said, where to go?
They said, Army's put up roadblocks on the
they'll
highway.
only drop rifle ammo if you're at 0.
Get the hell
With
out. Take 7
revolver, they will only drop ammo if you're at 2 or less. If you have 3, you will never ever get a drop from an enemy. With pistol, you have to be at 3 or less. If you have 4, you'll never get a drop. Now, it's also weird. I don't know if this is confirmed. There's no way to confirm this, but I've noticed you get more ammo dropped when you have a little versus when you have none. I can't tell you how many times I've done Billstown. Oh, and the shotgun is the same as the revolver. You have to be at 2 or less.
Hope that some bitch made it out.
I've noticed more shotgun drops in Billstown, throughout Billstown,
Are we sick?
when you're at 1 or 2. When I'm at 0, the game's just like, LOL, tough shit, bruh.
We're good.
Didn't Jimmy work?
I ain't got any ammo to spare. You'd think it'd be the opposite. But I swear I've done enough runs to know when you're at 0, the game just doesn't supply you with any. It could just be coincidence over the course of however long I've been doing this, but
So do
But
we.
we have room.
Keep driving, Tommy.
yeah, just an observation. Also, throughout this run, we will be picking up parts and supplements. The parts, we only upgrade Joel's guns in the dam, and we need 75 parts for that. And we pick up 75 so we don't lose time anywhere. And the supplements, we pick up 50, or enough supplements that total up to 50. And we upgrade that in the elevator shaft in the hotel, and we upgrade weapon sway. I'm sure some of you are like, oh, but if you're good enough, you can live without the weapon sway, right? Yeah, when a difficulty is as difficult as grounded, you know, you want to be able to get your shots off right. I've tried doing Financial District with a nail bomb throw without any upgraded weapon sway, and it's just a nightmare. Believe me, the rest of the game, from like Hotel onward, is a lot more difficult without upgraded weapon sway. You gotta trust me on that one.
Try it.
So yeah, we upgrade, and with the parts we upgrade Joel's right holster. We do that at the dam. Like I said, we'll talk more about that kind of stuff when we get there. But yeah, 75 parts for the right holster in the dam, 50 supplements for weapon sway in the hotel elevator. There's also the damage given to you by enemies. Let's see. According to like the Last of Us wiki,
Get back, man. Get back.
enemies do like triple damage compared to like normal mode, I think. All I know is 2 pistol bullets from an enemy will leave you with like barely any health. 1 rifle bullet will leave you with barely any health. I think 2 revolver bullets is enough to kill you. A shotgun or shorty will be enough to kill you. And El Diablo, I think it does about the same damage as a rifle. 3 punches will kill you. 2 melee weapon hits will kill you. It is pretty brutal. Also, the heads-up display on the bottom right is disabled on grounded, so you can't see how much health you have. I think you can use the brightness of the controller to tell, but it's something you have to keep track of.
How bad?
Okay, right here.
We're gonna need to run.
Before I get running, every NPC in this area is completely random. Completely random. I wish it wasn't. The one thing that isn't random is Tommy. Tommy moves at the same speed and goes the exact same route no matter what. If there's an NPC in his way, he will fuse through them like the Terminator in Terminator 2 when he like fuses through the bars. I always use that as an analogy for this. And NPCs, they can't push you. They can only go through you the same way. So yeah, just follow the route that I take so that Tommy will push you. We want Tommy to push us because Tommy will run faster when he's in front of us. So you just need to memorize the spots on the ground.
Come on, baby. Hold on tight.
Hopefully they can cooperate enough. Sir? Okay, so right here. You want them to push us and then go around. Try and avoid them. If you have to stop and then start again, do that. Also, if a human...
Keep looking at me, baby.
Okay, so what happened right there? If there's an NPC running in front of you when you turn that corner, a runner is going to jump out of that window and attack that person. If that happens, Tommy is going to look behind him and lose 2 seconds just by looking. And that's just random. You don't have any control over that. What happened right there, you have no control over. If, for whatever reason, you turn that corner and there's nobody in front of you, then, yeah, you're good to go. Tommy will show up around the time you hit that car right there. Yeah, we gotta keep going. Try and run to the right or left of people, because they will block you. So right about here, Tommy will show up and then push you the last stretch. There he is. Just try and remember, like, the lines, the invisible lines on the ground that he's going to run. And then just come over here. And also, QTE prompts are disabled on grounded, so you need to know what buttons to press. For this, it's square. You'll also see me hitting random buttons as we go. Okay, now right there, I forgot to mention that.
Keep going. Find a way out.
You want to move to the left here, because Tommy has... Most of the time, he'll run to the right of you. Now, when Tommy shot that runner off of me, I was running down the alley further, but I turned the camera to the right to look at him. If you just run down the alley and just ignore the camera placement, Tommy will, like, really, really lag behind you and lose a good amount of time. One run, he completely despawned because I got so far ahead of him and I just wasn't looking at him. And I died as a result. You get some really weird results. So when you're moving there, like, he's dead, you got to run forward and turn the camera to the right. And then after he started moving, you can turn it back and make sure you're still in front of him.
Get to the highway. Go! You got Sam.
And as you know, we skip cutscenes in this speed run.
Meet you there. Hurry!
Now, throughout this run as well, we are going to be restarting encounter at certain spots to speed things up. This run is timed with a normal timer, so every bit counts. Other runs, like Part 2, are timed with the in-game timer, so you can manipulate it here. Now, if you restart encounter and get a long loading screen, it all still counts. So you need to memorize what those spots on the ground are for, and, hold on. So right here, right there is when a cutscene starts. You need to anticipate it. Now, at certain points, we also do restart encounters. Now, those restart encounters have different positive effects throughout the run. Some move companions closer to you, some of them skip dialogue, some of them move you further, some of it skips in-game cinematics, and some of the restart encounters are done right after a cutscene, and some of them are legitimately like skip cutscene and then restart encounter. Some of them are like that. Some of them you have to like wait a second, otherwise it doesn't take. It's kind of weird. And this is one of those spots here. For this specific restart encounter after this cutscene skip, you need to wait like a second. So it looks like this. Okay. and we're out here. It skipped the camera panning down to Joel and Tess leaving the building. Now, if I had done that restart encounter as soon as I skipped the cutscene, it wouldn't have worked. It's just something you need to memorize. Alright, the only strat to do here is follow close behind her without bumping into her. That's what I always do when pointing the camera down. I'm always looking at her feet. In areas as slow as this is the kind of stuff you need to pay attention to.
Attention. Citizens are required to
Also, again, you'll see me hitting certain buttons throughout the run. They're not that important. People are always like, why do you spam the flashlight off and on all the time? It's just... Look, it's just something I do while I'm walking. Actually, here, I don't even think you need to hold the sprint. No, you don't. Oh, that's a good point, yeah. And in a couple instances, not many, but a couple instances, some restart encounters save about the same amount of time as just continuing normally, but they get rid of the chance of the game crashing. I know one area coming up I do that.
Alright, drive on through.
Right here, just cross an invisible line. Alright, this point right here is going to introduce us to quick turning, which we actually do use in like 3 or 4 spots throughout the run. But here, you can't move unless you satisfy the game and do that quick turn, which is just back and X. Right here, and then sprinting forward. Now it's a little bit faster to cut the corner here and go to the right of this cone. As a result, it's pretty funny. Tess will like glitch to opening the door here.
Attention. Checkpoint 5.
Okay, now this one's kind of annoying. Tess gives you a med kit, but you have to use it. And that, the way you use it is like, once the prompt for X shows up, you just go X up R1. And you just do that very quickly. There'll be like a sound effect for like the tutorial for using the med kit. And when that kind of like fades away, you'll see hit X to continue. You hit X up R1 back to back to back. Now you cannot move until you've used the medkit. Not like when you start using the medkit. Tess will start moving when you start using the medkit, but you cannot move until the medkit is used, which is kind of inconvenient. I would have liked to get through slums or cargo without it, but nope, you have to use it here. And what else here? Let me think. I think that's it. You want to make sure you don't like stutter your fingers a little when you start healing, because once you start healing, you can't let go of R1 or else it's going to mess up Tess's movements, and then you can't nail the potential next trick, which I guess I should talk about here because I won't have time to stop. So there's Tess and Joel are going to walk down this hallway, and a third guy is going to join us. Now you want to get to this guy's left and then get in front of him, and then, well, just getting in front of him is good enough, but sometimes he can like launch you down the hallway when Tess and him are done talking. But the process of getting around him to his left is cutting the corner to the right and then moving like up left or left up, you know, like don't just move left and then up. He'll get too far ahead of you. It's just kind of like, here, well, you can see my inputs. So you round the corner and then it's like, it's a little bit like that. I won't have a chance to show it off again. That's why I'm doing it from here. If you do mess up the timing for healing, Tess will slow down and the guy in the hallway will actually walk backwards right away. So what you want to do is get around to his left and then you'll always be in front of him. It's a good strat if you're struggling getting in front of him. But yeah, it all looks like this. And there's X. Normally I would hit it right away, but watch my fingers. Just like that. X up R1. Now, if I were to let go of R1, he would have to do it all over again.
Close all the checkpoints. We're gonna have to go around the outside.
Make sure you round your corners properly. Now, because the healing was good, I'm gonna run right towards the right
Hey,
corner
Tex,
here.
You see that shit?
Now, when I turn the corner,
Hey, how's the east tunnel looking?
I'm gonna walk forward, but also
I
move
just
left
used it.
enough so I don't
No
bump
patrols.
into him.
And where are you off to?
Gonna pay Robert a visit.
You too?
Who else is looking for him?
Marlene?
That looks
She's been
good.
asking around, trying to find him.
He might be
Marlene?
too far ahead. I don't know if I'll be able to get
What do the
past him here.
Fireflies need with Robert?
You think she'd tell me?
Well, what did you tell her?
The truth. I got no idea where he's hiding.
Good man.
All right.
Hey, you stay out of trouble, all right? Military's gonna be out in force soon.
All right, that was very dumb. I wasn't able to get past him. Now, let me tell you a little secret. Hold on. The next thing potentially you can do is like push Tess out of your way.
Robert? What do you make of
But
that?
I couldn't. Okay, that was like the worst thing that could have happened.
Find him before the Fireflies do.
What's funny about that is if that happens and you want to quit the run and do it again, that guy is going to walk the same way again. That guy's walking pattern is determined when you turn the game on. It's so, of all the things to work like that in this game, it's that guy, which I refer to as hallway fuckface for that very reason. I tried to get around him, I couldn't. I didn't do anything wrong. He just had a walking pattern given to him where it was impossible for me to get around him. So if you want to restart the run because of that, and I definitely would, you have to close the game and then open it again to get a different walking pattern from him. Super weird. Super duper weird. Because that didn't work, I want to bring up a video. I don't have volume turned on, but I will show you what it can look like. I had a segmented run here somewhere. There you are. Oh, where are you? There we go. No, the quality isn't good. This is old footage. You round the corner, you inch your way to the left. It's not a full left turn. You need to go left with forward momentum. And then when you hit the fire extinguisher, you want to like hold up left, otherwise you'll bonk into him. And then if you get in front of him, this can happen sometimes. And then when you get a certain distance away from Tess, you can jog. That's something that can happen. It can. Okay. Anyway. The next thing I want to talk about is another checkpoint. So, the checkpoint for this area right here is halfway between this line. I'll use the top of Joel's head. That line and that line. The checkpoint is right about here. Now, if you want to play around with these, like you can see them here. If you want to play around with these checkpoints yourself, look at the restart and counter thing 1 minute ago. When it transitions to less than 1 minute ago, that's when you hit the checkpoint. Now, not every checkpoint has a benefit. You're like, oh, every checkpoint you hit, you can restart and counter. No. Uranta went through the entire game himself and found all the beneficial ones. And yeah, I'm only going to do the beneficial ones. This is another one of them. So when Joel gets about halfway through, you're going to see it turn from 1 minute ago. Come on. Right there. To less than 1 minute ago. So it's literally right there. And if you restart and counter, you will be put in this room along with Tess.
How's it going?
Shit's
Now, I know in this case,
How's it
Tess
looking over here?
was ahead of me, but almost every run I do, what I want to happen is she's going to be behind me. So that restart and counter puts her in this room.
Joel, give me a hand with this.
Stand in front of the TV a little bit to the right. And then mash triangle. Some triangle prompts in this game, you can hold down triangle as you approach it to kind of speed things up so you don't have to like mash like a maniac. Some triangle prompts you have to manually hit. This is one of them. Again, you'll see my controller inputs to know which is which. Did you ever think I'd be talking so much about like
God,
such
this place
small
freaks.
things so far?
You need to watch what they throw away down here.
There's a lot of little things.
There'd be
This shit
light.
adds up over time.
Let's grab our gear.
There's no way to speed up this area, to my knowledge. You just kind of
Not a lot of
Go.
ammo.
Make the shots count.
get the gun, Make sure you reload it. It's easy to forget to do that because you can't see the heads-up display. Not because my input display thing is there, but because grounded, the heads-up display is disabled. So you can still use the D-pad to see how many bullets you have in the gun. However, you can't see how many bullets you have left for it. You can't see how many shiv uses you have left. You can't see how many hits you have left in a melee weapon. That's stuff you need to keep track of. And also, you'll see me do this a lot throughout runs. I will sometimes throw a punch.
Want to boost me up?
Yeah, I'll get there. I'm talking. You will sometimes see me throw a punch before I hit triangle on certain things. And that's because, as you can see, if I throw a punch with a gun in his hand, it teleports it to his back pocket. Do it where there's more light. Just look at his back pocket. Because, and I'll use this as an example, for this one you want to stand like right here. Right about here. But I'll show you. If you have a gun in your hand when you hit triangle, he will spend an extra second like putting it away.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you hit triangle prompts on certain things and doors, you don't want anything in your hands.
Come on.
Another thing you'll see me do is swap to a different weapon as I'm approaching another triangle prompt, just so I'll hit triangle in between putting another gun away and taking out another gun. So he'll hit triangle when he has nothing in his hands. You'll see me do that too. Okay, right here. There's another thing in this game, which I'm only remembering to talk about as it's happening. There are certain times throughout the game where the game will force you to walk. Whether you're holding sprint or not, it doesn't matter. The game will force you to walk. And it turns out crouch walking is faster than walking. And you need to memorize the spots. So in those spots, we crouch walk instead of walk. So you need to memorize the points in the run where that will happen, and then when you can start jogging again. Now, right here, as soon as you move Joel, he's going to... he can only walk. So as soon as you're able to move him, crouch. And then you want to go over a table, but he vaults things faster when he's standing up. So you hit circle again, and then go over the table. And then you crouch right again, and then just as you're about to head outside, you will be able to run. Now, the game doesn't automatically tell you that. That's, again, you need to memorize the points on the ground where that transition happens. So it all looks like this.
Be careful.
When am I not?
Got a trick question?
And right about there. So because I hit the checkpoint outside, we can jog again. But normally, and I can show this off right here. This is normally just how fast you can walk. And as you're going to see, this is faster than this. You can see it. It just is. So right here, you want to do this. Now, you can leap over like this, but as you can see, that is faster than this. So literally, you stand up, crouch, circle X, circle, and then right about here is when you can start jogging again. And then you go.
Where's the ladder?
It's got to be around here
So
somewhere.
those points on the ground, again, you just have to memorize. Okay, I guess I should show this off too. Picking up planks and ladders have different speeds based on like where you pick them up. I like to pick them up in the middle, but if you do
over there.
pick them up in different parts of the ladder, they can be a little faster or slower. This isn't the best thing to show it off. I'll show it off later, but I like to pick this one up like right around the
Bring it
middle.
over.
This one doesn't really matter where. But yeah, for almost all of these, try and pick it up in the middle. And then triangle. Okay. For this one, there's a restart encounter right here. Funny enough, I climbed the ladder right away, but then there's a little tutorial that slides across the screen that says press X to, I don't even know what it says. It's press X to do something. And I kind of use that as my timing for this restart encounter. When it's fully displayed on the screen, that's when I restart encounter, and it basically just teleports you to the top of the ladder. This one saves about a second.
Ladies first.
Lady, you must be thinking of someone.
Right there. Hit L and X to climb ladder. As soon as it's fully displayed on the screen, restart encounter, and it places you right here. All right, now as for specific movement, I like to let go of sprint as I'm falling off there. Hold on, maybe I can do that again. Oh, you're not going to give me a minute-long loading screen, are you? When I head towards that broken staircase, here we go, I like to let go of sprint as he's dropping, otherwise momentum will take him forward, and I don't want that. So it looks like this. He drops and he can turn the corner right away. Okay, as soon as Tess is done talking, crouch.
Merchandise back, it should be easy to unload. Hold up. Spores.
And then when the spores fill in, you can start jogging again. That's kind of one of those,
Clear last time.
They're coming out of something.
you know,
Stay alert.
points, like invisible lines in the ground where you need to like be aware of when the game will force you to walk, and then another point where you can start jogging again. The reason you slow down there is because Joel's putting on his mask, and you can't run when he's doing that. At least here you can't. So what's Tess's dialogue? Something, 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 they'll be easy to unload. Right after she's done saying that, that's when you crouch. And then after he's done putting on the mask, and then the spores kind of take up the screen, then you can start jogging again. You don't need to hit this triangle prompt. Alright, this is another one where you can... I'll hit it just for
There's
now.
our culprit.
This is another one. You can hold down sprint, so he'll start jogging again as soon as he leaves this like small space right here. And then this is one where you can hold down triangle instead of like mashing it, so it looks like this.
We should be able to fit through here.
And you want to hold down sprint when you're leaving tight spaces most of the time.
Yeah. Damn ceiling's falling apart. Be
Because
careful.
it will make you it'll make you start jogging right away.
Watch it, watch it.
Alright, you can ignore this guy. Oh, something you do want to pick up right here is this gun right here. Now on every other difficulty, this gun drops 2. But on grounded it drops 1. And this will give us 5. And make sure you reload it right away. Okay, I don't need a save or do something with the save file here. Oh, and that's something I also didn't mention, just in case you're playing grounded for the first time. Normally right here, it would give you a prompt to use R2 for listen mode. By the way, I use L1, R1. Some people use, I feel like most people use L2, R2. I use L1, R1. So, whatever button you use, that's fine with me. But, yeah. When you hit this point right here, the game, on easy, normal, and hard, the game will freeze and be like, hold R2 to use listen mode. On grounded mode, listen mode is disabled. Survivor as well. But this is grounded. So, yeah, there's no prompt for that. So, this right here will just happen right away. You don't need to press anything. Alright, I'm just going to do this once and then I'll show it back. One thing I do want to mention, if you restart encounter this fight right here, this first runner is angled a little bit more to the left. It's just one thing I've noticed. Because this headshot can be a little bit weird. We're going to get 3 headshots here, and we're going to do it in a specific way. Alright. 1, 2, 3. And then you go. I'll show off one thing first. See how this guy's angled further to the left? Makes this shot a little easier. But I will show off one thing. I've seen like, why can't you just go outside and go for the triangle prompt right here? The triangle prompt for this thing just will not show up as long as there's living enemies still around. Tess is still inside. They don't despawn. Tess doesn't follow you. You're not soft locked. They will eventually come after you. But yeah, you either need to stealth past them, which is really, really difficult on grounded and not worth it, or you have to kill all of them. Yeah. So back inside we go. So yeah, you want to as you're approaching, you want to aim and do a shoulder turn. Makes this shot a lot easier. Now crouching makes it here. Well, you don't want to stand. But crouching also makes it so there's less weapon sway. If you're crouched and only moving the camera, it greatly reduces the weapon sway. So you get this headshot. You sprint here in front of the door to the left, and then the camera will kind of reset itself. I need to show something else too. The camera is always going to be over the right shoulder. If you swap and then let go, the camera will be over here, but then it will eventually reset itself after you move a couple steps. Again, it looks like this. So after a couple steps, the camera just eventually moves back over the right shoulder. There's no way to change this either. The reason I mention that is because we do use that in this encounter. So again, it's aim, shoulder swap, get to the left side of the door, and then do that. Now, remember, I was shoulder swapped when I got the first headshot, but the act of sprinting to the left side of this door made it so the camera went back to the right shoulder. So when you aim, you want to shoulder swap again so it's over the left shoulder again. And then with this shot right here, you just kind of center it a little bit to the left of this runner. And the runner's, hey, I'll use my head as a visual aid. The runner for this headshot literally is just moving back and forth. If you center the reticle here, all you gotta do is just time it. So you literally just point the reticle there, and then as it moves forward and its head is moving left and right, you just gotta time the shot. That second headshot takes very little effort. And then after that, you throw a punch, aim, and if you do it quickly, it's a bit of an easier headshot. So altogether, it looks like this. Boom, left door, shoulder swap, boom, boom, boom. And then you go. Now, why is using 3 pistol bullets there? Like, oh, if you just killed the last guy with your fists... Wait, hold on. I want to do that again. If you just killed the last enemy with your fist, you would save a bullet. Well, it turns out ending this fight with 2 bullets prepares us for consistent ammo drops in the next encounter in the slums. It's all planned ahead of time. Here, I can show it off again. Boom. Shoulder swap. Boom. Punch. Boom.
Alright, that's all of them.
Now, sometimes he throws that punch with a different hand. Sometimes it's with the right. Sometimes it's with the left. And it's one of those things, after you aim, you just need to adapt. Sometimes I just flick it to the right and fire. Other times I have to do a drag shot. Now, when you're firing at humans, if you just aim at them or their head, they'll do like a little bunny hop out of the way. Like, ooh. So most of the time, most of the shots in this game I do are drag shots, where you just move the reticle over to the person and then boom. 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 And that's just to avoid them moving out of your way when you aim at them for about like 1 second. We'll get to that later. That doesn't apply to infected. Okay, right here, when we get outside, Joel's going to take off his mask. So you'll just be walking. Now, if you hit circle when his feet leave this, he will land in a crouched position. And then he'll be able to run when his mask is off. So altogether, it looks like this. We're coming from the stairs. Coming over here. Now watch my inputs. Circle. And then right. There. Then we're good. The game doesn't force you to run on your own. It's just spots you need to memorize. Okay, now, there are quite a few instances in this game where if you're leaving an enclosed space and you're holding sprint, you will get like a miniature launch forward. And to my knowledge, that's not possible on PS3, but it is on PS4 or 5. I think it's only possible on 60 frames per second. I think that's what it is. But if I do it right, it looks something like this. All you need to do is hold forward and hold down sprint after he crouches. So it looks like this. And then he just does that. And this is another spot I was talking about. You want to pick these things up in the middle.
Here, pass it to me.
Okay, so normally I picked it up right here. Now that's a fast pickup. However, if you pick it up over here, as you can see, he picks it up a lot slower. So to avoid losing time, when you do this, you want to pick it up in the middle, but more towards the top. So again, looks like this. Take that one extra step, and he picks it up quickly if it's more towards the top. Like the top middle.
Here, pass it to me.
The triangle. Okay, now this one's weird. You actually don't... I'm going to change the difficulty for this. You actually don't want to spend your time doing nothing right here. You will lose time. Test placing this plank down. It actually, if you do nothing, it takes a while. Something happens where when you climb up over there and you cross an invisible line in the ground, Tess will teleport with this thing and place the plank down. Here, watch. I can use listen mode to show you. So watch this. Right about there. See that? Isn't that kind of cool? The invisible line is literally like somewhere between right here.
Bossy today.
I'm getting close.
So after you place this here, she takes a long time. So hitting that mark that teleports her there is pretty important. You want to go right over there and cross this line as fast as you can. Fuck it, I'll show it off one more time. Hit triangle a little late there. That's okay. Can't be perfect.
Here, pass it to me.
Just make sure you pick it up in the middle. I can't stress that enough. Now don't be slow here. Don't be slow, remember.
I think I can handle it.
All right.
Right there. She just teleported. Now you can be a little slow. And just make sure you, you know, time your, like, L2 buttons so you can, like, sprint and slow down a little so you don't bump into her.
Make sure
Now, it's hard to fall off at an angle there, but just try your best.
It's clear. Come on.
This is pretty self-explanatory here. Just make sure you crouch as late as you can, and then you can hold down sprint again. Now, Tess's movement at the door here is random each time.
Shut it.
Now, as soon as you can move Joel here, restart encounter. Not only is this like a second faster, but numerous times I've had a game crash when I go through the door here. That restart encounter 100% eliminates that from happening. So yeah.
Hey, little man.
And then you have nothing to do here. I like to like move the chairs and whatever, or make Joel.
No soldiers.
If you
no
just
Robert Smith,
mash
huh?
circle, he doesn't do anything. But if you do it on stairs, he does it a lot faster.
You know he's expecting.
I find that amusing.
Well, that'll make it more.
All right, we're heading towards our first encounter. Now, it's very important we have 2 bullets. We had 5. We used 3 for the 3 headshots. Try not to bump into her here.
Hey, Tex.
Just go around.
Not right now, Terrence.
Now here, you can't pull out a gun, you can't crouch, you can't run, you can't do anything. You just gotta walk.
Puppy, puppy.
don't visit us anymore. Hey, you better block.
Where do you think you're going?
Malik, sit back down.
Oh, sorry, Tess. Didn't realize you two were together. Go ahead.
Now for any percent, there's actually a skip you can do here, but it's not allowed in glitchless. And that's what this category is. It's grounded glitchless. There is no grounded any percent. But when... Okay, the checkpoint for this area is like the very... I'm going to use like the checkpoint is literally right... Don't look at Joel. Look at the right of the screen. It's literally like right about there. The end of that piece of metal. And actually, I'll wait here for a minute and show you. So I'm going to back up a little bit. All right, 1 minute has passed. So when we get right here, we get to the end of the piece of metal. You will notice, right there, less than a minute ago. I didn't realize it was that early. Okay. Less than a minute ago, you want to restart encounter. That will put Tess in front of you. And trigger this scene a bit earlier than you could if you didn't do that restart encounter. It's actually about the same speed, but sometimes Tess can lag behind.
He went back to the wharf. He's there now.
So, yeah. That restart encounter doesn't save time, but it prevents time loss. Alright, this scene. I have a few things to say about this part right here. So we have 2 bullets, and we're going to get 1 headshot and 1 body shot. Now, there's something about ammo drops in this area.
Let us through.
I'm going to pause. I've heard some people say, like, why can't, you know, the intro to the speedrun is boring. Why can't you just start it, you know, when you first start carrying Sarah, or start it somewhere else, like at the start of the quarantine zone chapter? That's because it turns out ammo drops in this game are different when you start it from a brand new file versus loading in a chapter or loading in a save file. It's very weird, but this is probably the biggest example of that. I am 1000% certain that the first enemy I kill here is going to drop 3. He just does, every single time. I go from 2 to 1, and he drops 3. If I were doing this area from a chapter select or from a save file, he either drops nothing or he drops 1. It's so bizarre. So if you are setting up a Slums save file here, I would recommend setting it up in the next area. That way you have like a more accurate representation of how much ammo you really will have. But yeah. Point is, I'm not going to be able to show this off twice, only once, because of the weird things with ammo. So the way this encounter works, there's only 2 enemies you have to kill, and they're both hiding behind a crate in the back. It turns out they don't really react to your presence until like 3 or 4 seconds after you can move Joel. So literally the strat is to run up to the first guy on the left, headshot him, and then the second guy will become active and try to punch you. You body shot him and punch him twice, and that's it.
You guys need to turn around and head back.
I still recommend setting up a save file for this and practicing, but you're not going to get the same amount of ammo as if you're doing it in a normal run.
Fuck around and leave now.
I'm not going.
So remember, sprint up to him, L1, R1, pretty quickly, and then body shot the second guy and punch him out. It'll only be 2 punches after that. Normally it's 4 punches, but because it's grounded and your bullets do a little bit more damage, it's only 2 punches. So here we go. Now here, you can't be holding down sprint when the area ends. As soon as you can move Joel, you have to manually press it down. Like the dialogue, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'll cover you. Get the angle on him. If you're holding down sprint when you try to move him, he's gonna be crouched. So first you want to do is move him and then hold sprint. And altogether it looks like this.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'll cover you. Get the angle on them.
Get the gun out, and... And look, that guy dropped 3. See that?
Nicely done, Texas.
Now, if I were to do this restart encounter and do it again, first of all, they react to you right away. Second of all, you're not going to get those drops. So yeah, just study what I did there, and it should work for you.
How the hell did he get
You literally just go right here.
Robert's good at one thing.
Boom.
Right and blank check.
Boom.
Let's go put him in.
Boom, boom. This guy can sometimes drop a bullet. Sometimes. But he will always drop 3. And 3 is all you need. And then you continue onward. Now, how do I explain this next area? This next area, I'm going to do my first case of a file loading and saving, because if you restart encounter,
Give me your hand.
it won't be the same. I don't think I talked about that. I talked about, well, I don't know if I did. If I'm going to potentially repeat myself. When practicing areas in the game, some of them you can restart encounter. And this applies really more with practice, not at the actual run. You can restart encounter over and over and get an accurate representation of what it would look like in the run. But other areas, the AI is very, they're in different spots and react differently. If that's the case, you want to load in a file and then save it again. We'll do that a bunch of times in this next area. This next area here is a, there's 3 enemies. Tess kills 1, and then you have to kill 3. Now, there's a locked door. And the enemy who has the key is the last enemy that you kill. We have 3 bullets. They're all reloaded. There's an enemy there. There's an enemy in there and an enemy in there. Now, the order we're going to do, we start here. We're going to leap over in the middle between that crate and that crate, right about there. Headshot this guy. Then we're going to turn the corner. This guy should be running at us. If he isn't, the area is kind of ruined. There's a lot of randomness with this area, but the strat works well enough that I feel comfortable using it in a run. Headshot him, or you can body shot him and punch him twice. I recommend headshotting him, though. And then run around here, and then you can actually punch this guy against the wall. We kill this guy last because he's closest to that door. And then he drops the key and we move on. Okay, right here. You can't disable autosave. So if you want to practice an area over and over, where a restart encounter doesn't give you the same AI patterns that you would get in a run, you just have to keep doing this. Have file whatever be your section loading, and then another file be your actual practice.
How do you know they're coming? 2 of our guys died trying to take
Okay,
Tess
so it
out.
should all look like this.
Guaranteed
Now,
she
I'm
and
going to
Joel are on
fire
their way here
some
right
of
now
my
to get
shots
Robert.
in a crouched position because the weapon sway is really bad. If you are crouched and only moving the camera, the weapon sway is tolerable. Okay, but it all looks like this.
Oh shit!
I like to get any ammo they drop. And then there. If I mash triangle, I can pick up the bullet and the key at the same time, and then we just go.
Let's search the area.
Now, I'd like to show you why a restart encounter wouldn't be accurate here. Okay, I'm going to go over here, get the headshot over here. He's way over there.
Oh fuck!
And then this guy, I don't know where he's going to be. He's... Okay, he's to the left now. It's different. And my point is, like, he's supposed to be right there. I wouldn't recommend practicing it this way, because that's not what you're going to experience in a run. So what you have to do is load in file 9. It can be any file name. For me, it's 9. And then you have to save it again. If I were to load in the file and then do the area, I can't go back.
More Robert's guys.
How do you know they're coming?
And yeah, throughout the run,
Take Tess out.
there are... I mentioned earlier that, you know, unpatched is the better way to run grounded. And that's really due to better AI patterns. This is one area where unpatched and latest patch, the AI varies quite a bit. But I showed you those videos earlier. I recommend giving those a look if you're on the fence about which version to run. But yeah,
Joel are on their way
I'm not
here
going to show
right
them off
now
here.
to
I can't
Robert.
patch it and then show you.
Jesus.
I already did a video about
We
that.
shouldn't have taken this
So what do I want to do here? I'm just gonna
call.
do it again. Again, you run to that spot, you turn, you crouch, you headshot that guy, and then what you do is you turn the camera and sprint and stand Joel up. I think it's you do have to deal with the weapon sway, but the guy's so close to you, you can adjust on the fly. And then you pick up any ammo he drops because it is grounded mode. And then you that last enemy is almost always going to be around that corner.
Spread out and make sure no one's creeping around in here.
And then you just punch him. See that? You can pick up more than one thing in one crouch, either by mashing triangle or by holding it down. If it's just a couple things, I recommend mashing triangle. But if it's like 6 or 7 things on a table, I recommend holding it down. Yeah, I think that's it. I'll do it one more time. Another thing is the very start of it, is timing the leap over the table. As soon as I see Tess about to shiv that one enemy, I turn the camera to the right, and then L, forward, and X. So like,
Guarantee that she and Joel are on their way here right now to get robbed.
and that's how you get a fast leap over the table. And again, I'm looking at Tess to know when to do that.
Not our call. Let's spread out and make sure no one's creeping around in here.
And then, yeah, just like I said. And that is that. Now, what's some things that can happen here? You're over here, you get the headshot, boom, you aim at this guy. What can also work is a body shot, and then 2 punches. But it's not as fast, so I recommend the headshot. If you can't get it or you're not comfortable enough, go with the body shot. Now, something this enemy can do is when you get this and then come over, move out of my way. Sometimes he like runs behind this desk, and if that happens, I hate to say it, but you're kind of fucked. It's through no fault of your own. The game can just screw you over. This has happened to me a bunch of times. Boom. Boom. Do you want to move? Jesus Christ. Companions, get used to this from your companions, okay? They're just annoying as all hell. And this guy will take cover behind the desk. In turn, this enemy will run into this room. And then there's like 2 enemies right here. Try and headshot one of them, and then you just need to like adapt if you're doing like a no reset run or something. It's really, really inconvenient. I don't have a video of that right now, but yeah, it is something that can happen. Do it one more time. Again, if you miss that headshot in the doorway,
How do you know they're coming?
and you get a body shot instead, just punch him twice. Don't use 2 bullets on him.
Joel are on their way here right now to get robbed.
And then just assume that other guy is going to be there.
We shouldn't have taken this job.
Not our call. Let's spread out and make sure no one's creeping around.
Now, where Joel is crouched when he gets this first headshot kind of makes the enemies after this do consistent things. And oh yeah, sometimes he's right there. I forgot about that. Sometimes he can be right here. And if that happens, you just need to do a sprint punch and a kick. Don't hit square too late though, because he might stand up. Try and do it as early as you can so he can get the sprint punch. But yeah, that's actually a much better occurrence right there. Okay, this next area we don't need to do the file loading. We can just do restart encounters over and over. You'll get the same results. So I'll do it once and then go back.
Hey, consolidated the crates in the south warehouse. Supplies are locked up.
Okay. So, that was pretty good. Right away. Restart encounter does place them a little bit further back. So to accurately simulate what it's going to look like in a run, wait like 2 seconds. First thing you want to do is sprint to the left and then grab the bottle. That's the first thing you want to do. And then as soon as it pops up, throw it. Or not right away, but then... Yeah, you want to throw that bottle so right after he like starts running again, you can mash square to do a sprint punch and a kick on the guy. If you do it too late, I think they'll see you. If you do it too early, I don't think you'll be able to kill the guy. It's pretty specific timing. Look one more time.
Hey, consolidated the crates in the south warehouse. Supplies are locked in.
Yeah, just like that. And then this guy, you want to kick. Now you'll notice this guy isn't going to shoot me because he thinks his buddy is in the way. You know, otherwise, this will happen. Let's kill him first. You're gonna get hit. And then you're gonna get hit again. And you don't want that. So literally the strat is kick that guy down and sort of use where the enemy thinks he is as a shield. So you have all the time in the world to line up a headshot. It's a really good strat. Now, something that can happen, I don't know if it'll happen here, but you don't want to punch that guy down too early, because if you do that punch too early... Alright, right there. Did you notice I punched him down to the ground really early? What can sometimes happen is the guy in the back will actually shoot me once. I'll see if I can get it to happen.
Hey, consolidated the crates in the south warehouse. Supplies are locked in.
Okay, I don't know why he's here. But yeah, basically, when you're punching this guy, wait an extra second. Not long, just like this much. And then go and line it up. It's a spot where you can actually take your time. Believe it or not.
Hey, consolidated the crates in the south warehouse. Supplies are locked in.
Now, as for this guy, sometimes he drops a bullet, sometimes he doesn't. And I would recommend mashing triangle, but that's not a good idea. And the reason is...
Consolidated the crates in the south warehouse. Supplies are locked in.
Watch this. Oh, I'm just gonna mash triangle. Oh, nope. You don't want this. I mean, you could do that, but it wouldn't give you the right amount of ammo for the top floor, potentially. So yeah, don't mash triangle here. Look for the bullet. If it's there, pick it up. If not, come over here and a bit slowly get that punch. You got all the time in the world. It's all together. One more thing. I gotta point this out. The enemy in the back. Watch this.
Hey, consolidated the crates in the south warehouse. Supplies are locked up.
Good.
He does different things based on this bottle.
Hey, consolidated the crates in the south warehouse. Supplies are locked up.
Good. Let's do another once over and then head out.
See, he's kind of weird. Sometimes he's just chilling in the back. Other times he actually tries to get behind you. I don't know if I'm going to do this like so many times so that that happens. But if he, for whatever reason, he's right on top of you, I recommend getting the headshot first and then punching and kicking the guy you bottled. So it looks like this.
Hey, consolidated the crates in the south warehouse. Supplies are locked up.
Actually, he's right here. Look. That was it right there. Notice how he was like here instead of somewhere over there? I recommend doing it exactly like I did there. Get the headshot first, and then punch and kick the bottled guy down. Ooh, these guys look comfy. So yeah, it's all about adapting to what you see. We'll deal with the top floor guys next.
Consolidated the crates in the south warehouse. Supplies are locked in.
So he turned around. There's a bullet. Kick him down. Take your time, get any ammo that guy drops, and go up here. Now, when you round the corner, crouch. And then... These two enemies are going to be in different places every single time. Sometimes there's one enemy to my right and one guy right in front of me. Other times there's a guy like behind that railing in front of me, but further to the left, and another guy. I recommend practicing the shit out of this area, so you see every single thing that the game can offer you here. It's a big reason why I practice this area a lot before I do attempts, just to react to whatever the game gives me. So I'll do everything from start to finish a few times.
Consolidated the crates in the south warehouse. Supplies are locked up.
Alright, that guy turned around, no ammo. Wait a second to punch him. Headshot, kick. You're never gonna get 3 in a run. See, that's the opposite example. Alright, these enemies, I'll get this guy first, and then that guy. So sometimes the opposite thing can happen. You'll get like 3 bullets dropped in like a chapter practice. You'll never, ever, ever get 3 bullets dropped when you're doing like a first try run. Okay? You're never going to get that. Don't ever get used to that. Sorry, I'm also reading chat. Sometimes it happens to me that the enemies upstairs are immediately alerted. That would be because you spent too much time on the bottom floor. So watch this. I'm going to do the bottom floor pretty quickly.
Hey, consolidated the crates in the south warehouse. Supplies are locked up. Holy shit!
Alright, I did that pretty quickly. So when I go upstairs, these guys are going to still be scrambling. They don't know I'm here. They're still getting into position. I missed. If Tess shoots one, you can body shot it for a kill. Now watch this. I'm going to spend a lot of time down here.
Consolidated the crates in the south warehouse. Supplies are locked up.
Now when I go up here, they've had time to get into position. Alright, I wasn't alerted right away, but this enemy was already trying to move. You'll either get alerted right away, or some of the enemies will just get bored from waiting in one spot for too long. So I think random alerts you're going to get on the top floor here are because of spending too much time on the bottom. The inverse effect is you do the bottom floor too quickly, it's going to be tough to get 2 headshots on the top because they're still getting into position. But that's whatever.
Hey, consolidated the crates
That's why
in the south
doing this
warehouse.
area a little bit slow isn't the worst thing. You can hold down triangle to get both of those. And just see where they are. I see their heads. Boop. And again, I just recommend practice. Practice, practice, practice. You want to hit a stationary target with those two. If they're running to a spot, don't try to be fancy. Just wait for them to stop moving. All right? I'm not going to show off everything that they can do, every spot they can be. There's another 3. That's so stupid. Like again, sometimes there's a guy there and a guy there. Sometimes there's a guy right there. Also, a body shot and a body shot will do enough damage. Okay, one more time.
Hey, consolidated the crates in the south warehouse.
Remember, you don't have to wait there when you're doing it from the previous area. Bullet. Now just wait. And we go. Now remember, I like to throw a punch there because if I hit triangle with a gun in his hand, he's going to spend a second putting it away. Okay. That was that. I believe this area still works no matter what. If you have to restart it, so we're not going to make a save file, we're just going to go. Now, super duper duper important, having to do with a strat later. You almost... not want to, but you almost need to leave here with one pistol bullet. You really need to leave here with one pistol bullet.
That cocky son of a bitch.
Let's go wrap this up.
Which I am. Okay, I'll do this once and then break it down. There's a shiv there, don't pick it up.
Well, lost our contact.
Look at my sprint inputs.
I don't know who's left out there to sell.
Fuck!
And good. I actually just realized once you open the door and take one step inside, you hit a checkpoint. Tess is stuck back there. It creates an invisible wall right here, so you can't go back, and I hit a checkpoint. So it looks like we have to go all the way back to the beginning. That's okay, though. We'll get to see slums from start to finish one more time. But for the wharf, that area is called the wharf. Basically, you start sprinting as soon as you can move Joel. You run through those tunnels, or those crates to the left. And then when you pick up that brick, you need to do it in a non-sprinting animation. And then after you pick it up, and he stands, you can start sprinting again. And that eliminates being alerted right away. It delays the alert. If you sprint the entire way, this is grounded. You're going to get alerted early. They're going to shoot at you, and they're not going to miss. That letting go of sprint, picking up the brick, and then sprinting again after he stands up delays the alert. So I'm able to sprint all the way to that door. So, and by the time I'm there, they just don't hit you.
More of Robert's guys.
Yeah, you don't have to like crouch and pick it up. If you're holding sprint the entire time though and you pick it up, that's not going to work. Also, the reason I don't get the shiv there is because Joel slows down just a little bit getting it, and there's a fresh shiv in the next area where you're not in an encounter. So you want to pick it up there so you don't lose sprint momentum in the wharf. Okay, but the entirety of slums from start to finish.
Not our call.
This better be good.
Let's spread out and make sure no one's creeping around in here.
Three. You're never going to get 3 in a run. Okay, now right there, that's something I forgot to mention. Sometimes you're so fat, normally you leave here with 3. 3 or 2. You know what, for the sake of this, I'm going to go in with 2. Just because sometimes you can, it varies what ammo you leave here with, 2 or 3. If you're too fast here, and you do that first punch, sometimes you knock him down to the ground where he's begging for his life. If you have time to recognize that, sprint to the side and kick him. Otherwise, you get this long animation of kneeing his head into the wall. Which is fine. If you're able to pull this strat off and you get this, it's not the end of the world. But for me, trying to gold everything, I would do that, recognize it, go to the side, and then kick him. You won't like shove his head into this crate here. You just kick him. Yeah.
Hey, consolidated the crates in the south warehouse. Supplies are locked up.
And there we go. Practice it enough,
We should have brought more people.
you can get it that easily.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so Wharf here, you can do a bunch of restart encounters. Just make sure you don't hit the checkpoint. And this strat is consistent. I showed it off once. I'll show it off once again, but before I hit the door, I'll show off things that can go wrong.
That cocky son of a bitch.
Let's go wrap this up.
So as soon as you're able to move them, sprint.
Well, lost our contact in the norm.
Let go. Hold it back down.
I don't know who's left out there to sell us stuff.
See that? What is it?
You can either kill this guy or run around him. If you run around him, make sure you take a long left turn. If you just run past them, you'll either get punched or choked out. Now, when you start sprinting after picking up that brick, you either don't get alerted, but they think they see it, like, hey man, I think I saw something. You can almost sprint to the door without getting alerted if not for that one enemy in front of you. If you get that, like I said, run around them. If you get alerted, that's okay too. Getting alerted is actually part of the strat. But yeah, let me show you some things that can go wrong.
Let's be smart about this.
Watch what happens if you just hold down sprint the whole time.
Zealous stuff.
Yeah, you're fucked. You're fucked. So again, a way to avoid that is letting go of sprint, right there, and then holding it down again. And then you can go. Now there's gonna be an enemy here. And then go. Yeah, I can't, like, accurately practice the last guy.
Contacts and zealous stuff.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it looks like that. And then this enemy would be running, like, towards that crate. And then you can just do that.
Get the fuck back!
You just want to talk?
So yes, if you get alerted, take a right turn as you approach the door, and you shouldn't get alerted, or you shouldn't get shot. If you don't get alerted right away, take a left turn around that one enemy, and that one enemy, if you're far enough away from him, that one enemy is programmed to not attack you, but sprint to that spot behind the crate. You can literally, like, race him, run next to him. He doesn't do any harm. He means you no harm. That enemy is just, I don't know how to describe him. He's just programmed to sprint to the exit, basically, when an alert happens. And then he stays there. And during that him running to the exit, he will not attack you. He will attack you, though, like, as soon as you get alerted or you're right next to him. So, okay. Again, if you get alerted right away, you can sprint to the door, just make a far right turn. If you don't get alerted, take a wide left turn as you approach that enemy, and then you can go right for the door, because he won't hurt you. And that's that. Now, what you can also do if you don't get alerted is you can sprint, punch, and kick that guy. What happens there is he will always 100% of the time drop a bullet. Yeah. He will 100% of the time drop a bullet. So if you are leaving slums with 0 bullets, it's a good way to get that one bullet that I said earlier you absolutely need.
Robert,
We got fucking nothing to talk about!
put your gun down.
Go fuck yourself!
He's running.
Robert! Screw you,
Come on, he ran in here. We almost got him.
And here we go. Okay, right off the bat, you need that melee weapon over there. So this is one of those you can hold triangle leading into it, and you need that one bullet.
Through here. I know a way around this. Come on.
And you want to be to the... This is pretty important. Once Marlene goes for the ladder, you want to stand behind her, because Tess is going to want to climb up, like... and climb up the ladder right behind Marlene, but if you stand there, you block her. Okay, right here, I like to... This is pretty specific, but I like to round the corner in a sprint, turn the flashlight on. Just as I'm about to drop, I hit L3, and I notice he kind of drops quickly. Okay, right here, you want to...
I'm turning to you guys.
Well, funny, I'll show you.
This way.
You only need 2 parts there, and then you want the shiv. And then you can leave one of those parts behind. and then what you want to do is stand right here and point the camera away from Marlene. It turns out her speed walking to this blue door is actually affected by if you're in her way and if the camera is on her. So what I like to do when I drop in and grab the stuff there is just move over here.
Give me a hand with this.
Just stay right here and look this way. And right here, you just want to stand there and hit triangle. Now getting around Marlene here, I like to hold sprint and then hold left on both sticks and then go right. So it looks like this. Again, just look at my inputs
I'll live.
and you'll see. Also, that melee weapon we have has 4 hits in it. A piece of wood has 4 hits, a bat has 6 hits, and a pipe has 9 hits. And it's pretty important for later.
Hold up. Soldiers.
So right now we have 4 hits. We're going to use one of them, and then we'll have 3.
Ain't a big fan of these. Huh?
This is a spot we can restart and counter and do it again.
Even though I know that's not your style. We'll see how it goes. Let's get moving.
Alright, manually press a sprint button there. Okay. That was perfect. Okay. That's exactly how it's supposed to be done. Now, if, let's see. I'll break down... That was perfect, but now I'm going to break down things that can go wrong. First of all, the one thing you can do wrong here is sprinting too long. So right there. You want to stop sprinting at about the halfway mark on the stairs, and then go up, and then hold down sprint again. Just like the wharf, that delays the alert. Or at this point, prevents it. So just like this. Stop. Start. Hop over the right of the crate. Now, something that can go wrong, if you bonk on anything before you do that swing, you'll alert everybody. So you want to hop over the right side of that crate.
We need to get to that door.
Because if you don't... Okay, I'll be totally honest, I'm kind of surprised that this guy didn't know I was there. I still say it's important to hop over the right side, because it gives you a better angle for the swing you need to do. But yeah, looks like the guy on the left won't know you're there. That's kind of funny.
We need to get to that door.
Okay, so we're piecing it together here. Let go. Hold back down. Be far to the right so you don't have to bonk into anything. Sprinting swing. Now, do not pick up that bottle, because most of the time, you don't really have time to get behind that crate. Picking up that bottle wastes too much time, so you can't get behind that crate. Now what that does, there's something in this game called a stun lock. I'm gonna put it on easy mode just to show you.
We need to get to that door.
And basically what the stun lock is, if you are holding down sprint and a direction, if you get shot in a way that Joel physically reacts to it, he will... If you never let go of sprint, they'll just keep hitting you over and over and over and over and over again. So let me see if I can get it to happen. Here, look. I can't move anywhere. We are stun locked. I'm gonna try and move. This is easy mode. I can't move anywhere. Now the only way to cancel that, I'll get one going again.
We need to get to that door.
That's easy mode, remember. The only way to cancel that Alright, we'll get one going. Nope, he needs to, like, really react. There we go. Now, the only way to cancel it is to let go. What I like to do is, like, let go crouch really quick, and then start up again. So it looks like this. So you're getting stun locked, you just gotta let go, crouch, and then start up again. The whole point of showing this off is it's even worse ungrounded because you're gonna die in 3 hits if you have full health. So if you pick up that bottle that's right there, oh my. You won't have time to make it to that crate. Crouching behind that crate, like before the stairs, is important because it breaks the cycle of the enemies getting closer and closer to hitting you. So putting almost everything together looks like this. Stop. Start. Leap to the right. Don't bonk into anything. Sprinting swing, run around them. Don't pick that up. We have a brick from the slums or the wharf. And then crouch. Crouch behind here. And then that last enemy is going to be in one of 3 places. And that is, he either runs up and tries to shoot you. He's right here, so when you hit the stairs, he'll take a step back. And other times, he's like right here. So when you round the corner, this is the last place he can be, so you get your brick and you throw. Where do we get that brick from that we're using here? We get that in the wharf. Remember, I told you to stop sprinting, get the brick, start sprinting again. Don't use that brick in the wharf. I know it's tempting. Oh, just get rid of that enemy, go towards the door where Robert is. No, because you can't pick up the bottle there, you need that brick for this area. For that one enemy, that last enemy here. So altogether, it looks like this. What that last enemy does is totally random. He's in one of those 3 spots. Stop sprinting. Start sprinting. Swing. Move. Don't pick that up. Crouch behind this crate. And then go. There's one more thing I have to mention. You will do a swing with a melee weapon if you have nothing in your hands or a gun. But if you have a brick... Stop sprinting. Start sprinting. If you have a brick...
What the hell was that?
You're going to use the brick. Don't do that, okay? Make sure you don't do that. Have a gun or nothing. That's why you'll sometimes see me run with a gun in my hand. Just so if I hit random buttons, I'm not doing anything. Brick ready. Crouch. And go. If you get shot by that guy, because the timing for throwing that brick is pretty specific, if you get shot by him, don't, like I said, let go of sprint, throw it, crouch, and then go. You know, you want to play it safe there. All right, one more time. I'm trying to wait for an example where that enemy is going to be like in the middle of the stairs, but I don't think that's going to happen. Stop. Start. Leap. Nothing in your hand or a gun. Swing. Don't bonk on anything. Go. Get your brick ready. Don't pick up that bottle. Crouch. Specifically timed throw and go. Again, if he doesn't show up right away, he's in one of those 2 other places. You just need to react to what you see. Him running towards you, in my experience, is the most common, though.
Where are we going, Marlene? This way.
Now, right here, another example of crouch walking. If I hold sprint, you see that he can't run. He can only walk. So you're going to crouch walk. Now, Marlene has to open this next door upstairs. So what we're going to do is... There's a checkpoint halfway up the stairs. So right about... there. Now, if you want to look at Marlene, she will actually put her gun away when you hit that checkpoint. So you can actually kind of listen to it, or you can turn the camera and look at her. But I haven't counted how many stairs. It's halfway up the stairs. You restart and counter, and it placed both of them right here. So that saves a lot of time. All right here, you just want to get right here, stand up, hold down triangle,
Joel, give me a hand with.
and you'll hit the triangle prompt on the door and open it and trigger the next cutscene as fast as humanly possible. So again, looks like this. Just kind of snug your way in there. Look up. Here, watch this. If you're looking down,
Joel, give me a hand with this.
there's no triangle prompt. So I recommend it's there even if you're looking up. I like to just look straight ahead. So when you hit triangle, you can hit it as early as possible. Little things like this save a lot of time.
Joel, give me a hand with this.
Skip cutscene, and then sprint immediately to the left. Or jog. And yeah. Then you just go.
Down here. Won't keep up.
Alright, there's more crouch walking again once you make it inside. But there's a trick you can do with dumpsters. Here we're going to move a dumpster against that ledge right there.
Up there.
There's a trick you can do with the dumpsters. Once you move it close enough, the game takes over and manually places it right there. But if you hit triangle just before you get to that spot, you can actually start moving Joel as the game places it against there. I don't go for it because the risk reward of getting it versus missing it, it saves time, but not a lot. So I can either push it forward or I can try and do this. There, I got it. And then you can move and climb up just a little bit earlier.
Up there. That'll get us to the north tunnel.
How are we
But
supposed
yeah,
to reach
you don't
that?
have to go for that.
Just give me a minute.
Because God forbid you let go and it doesn't move. You gotta hit triangle and then start moving it again. I don't think it's worth it. But yeah. Also, there's something about this ledge here. You can't climb up this ledge in the middle or the left. You need to climb up it to the right. Very, very, very frustrating.
How are we supposed to reach that?
I have actually lost multiple runs to that. So when you move this against here, climb and just climb both things angled a little bit to the right. If it looks too far to the right, it's not. It's just where you climb up. It's dumb. Alright, right there. As soon as I start talking, you would otherwise just be able to walk. You gotta trust me on that. Look.
Sometimes.
You ever
We can't.
smuggle a kid
We have to
before?
crouch walk this whole way.
That's a first. What's the deal with you and Marlene anyways?
I don't know. She's my friend, I guess.
Your friend.
Okay. I know I'm spending a really long time explaining areas and stuff.
She knew my
I can't
mom.
show off everything, but I'm trying to show off as much as I possibly can. Because I gotta tell you something that's more important than just knowing the strats is knowing the backup strats and knowing what to do when it doesn't exactly go to plan. Those are equally as important as the main strats. Like, for example, in Wharf. After you pick up that brick, sometimes you don't get alerted, sometimes you do. Both are perfectly fine. You just need to know what to do. And they're both about the same amount of time. But yeah. Here you just
So instead of just
turn
staying in
and hit
school,
triangle.
You decide to run up and join the Fireflies.
And then skip a cutscene. And that is where I'm going to leave it for this video. We went from intro through cargo, and I'm going to break up this tutorial into 8 parts. So look forward to the next part. Hopefully I'm not boring any of you. This is what it takes to run this game professionally. And we have a lot more to talk about as we go forward. But yeah, look forward to the next video. See you guys.